Red.
I like the hat though. Are you? Oh, it says you're muted. He's muted.
No, I still can't hear you. Rich. Oh, I can hear you now. So I've been doing podcasts and they've been like an hour at best long, meaning like they're long, and everyone yells at me that they need to be shorter. So this could be perfect.
Yeah,
Because
I
we
like
don't have that much time.
form, but to start, I guess short form is good. You know,
How long do you usually listen to podcasts for?
I listen to Joe Rogan and Sean Ryan 3, 4, 5, 9. I don't even care. I'll do it for 9 hours. I'm weirdly obsessed with podcasts. I haven't turned my TV on. No, I haven't watched a show on my TV in I mean months. Like my daughter is the only person that watches TV in this house.
Oh, I
literally
like it.
just I put my phone on the counter and I do dishes and I just do things in my car, my shower, and I'm just podcast.
And you watch?
I watch the podcast if it's watchable, like Rogan, and then Sean Ryan. I'll go on YouTube or I'll just listen. But yeah, I've been into I got away from the self-help real estate business podcasts because I just got burnt out on them, and I got into not political, but just like everyday regular podcasts, entertainment podcasts.
Ah, so you were listening to more personal development ones.
When I got into this business or just in general as an entrepreneur, you're full of piss and vinegar. You're just like, I read like 60 books in like a year and a half. I listened to all the self-help and I just got completely burnt out on all of that stuff. You could probably relate. And it's like, not that I know it all, but I was just tired. I just needed some excitement. So I actually started listening to YouTube. What made me make the transition to more entertainment podcasts is I started listening to Sammy DeBogravano, like mafia stories on YouTube.
Oh,
And I got completely obsessed with that. I watched every single season, every episode, and it kind of broke it up. And then I went back to some self-help, some business, and then back to Sammy Bull. And then from there, I went to other podcasts. And yeah, now I'm just strictly entertainment podcast.
so is Joe Rogan your favorite one?
Yeah, Joe Rogan and Sean Ryan. So when Sean Ryan was on Joe Rogan's show, it was like a moment for me. It was like my guys together.
Who's Sean Ryan?
He's like number 2 in the world, number 3, number 2. He was number 1 for a little while. He's a former Navy SEAL, CIA contractor who did a bunch of cool shit. Excuse me, can I curse? I'm sorry.
Oh, for sure.
He did a bunch of cool shit, knows a bunch of cool people, and he's into just talking about / exposing injustices or conspiracy theory type stuff, or he has I call them high performance individuals, like combat veterans, special ops guys, CIA guys on his podcast telling their story. And so it's just really interesting to study and watch and listen to those guys who have been through just exceptional human beings who have been through really traumatic things, and how they navigated through it, and how they go about life, and how they transform from being, a dirtbag, SEAL, womanizer, alcoholic, to this polished individual that you see on the podcast, and God-fearing and all that stuff.
That's like your favorite, the hero journey story.
The 1,000,000%, and that's what 1,000,000%. That's what gets me going. That's what fills my cup. The hero, the comeback, the transformation, the evolution of the person.
I like that. I think mine is too, for sure. And I'm still absolutely obsessed with the personal development.
Yeah, same.
I haven't fully transitioned it into just entertainment.
Yeah, no, it's balance, just like anything else. Or there's no such thing as balance, as Gary Keller would say, right? Counterbalance.
Yeah, so thanks for mentioning Gary Keller. That's how we know each other, is KW, right?
Yeah.
Keller Williams World Real Estate.
Yeah.
I met you, at a conference?
Yeah, it was franchise systems orientation.
Oh my gosh.
Austin, Texas, 2019, I want to say.
It says the year.
Yeah, well, no, actually it was 2020. Had to have been 2020. No, maybe. 2019, I joined KW in November. Yeah. And then 2020 was right after. Yeah. Oh, was it in the middle of COVID? No, wait. It had to have been.
No, it must have been before. I
It
feel
had to have
like
been before. Yeah. It might have been 2019. Either way, yeah. I think I sold maybe 4 homes. I don't even know. No, I sold more than that. I was a rookie cookie in the business.
you were just new.
I was new.
Well, yeah. So in Austin at Franchise Systems Orientation, what a phenomenal conference, by the way. It literally just teaches you all the structures and organizations and systems of how to continue to grow, right? Like literally how a franchise works. It was a 2-day workshop or something of all of that.
2-day workshop. The room was filled with complete rock stars, intimidating room to say the least. Great people, a lot of collaboration, a lot of learning. And the energy was crazy. And I'm brand new to the business. Kaleo Kina was my partner at the time, good friend of mine. We're both basically brand new. We're looking to network and meet people and learn.
I was there myself.
Yeah. You were by yourself, and you were the loudest, most energetic person on the lunch food line. I remember thinking to myself, who the hell is this girl? Like and then I hear something about Jersey. I'm like, oh yeah, she's from Jersey. Got it. Roger that. I was like, I got to connect with this girl because I know we probably have a bunch of stuff in common. And yeah, I think I saw you on the food line. I was like, hey, what's up? Where you from? Blah, blah, blah. And then we just, started hanging out from there and talking and exchanging ideas and laughing. Yeah, it was.
That was the end of that.
Yeah, it was fun. So that was it. That was
it. Years ago, met you in a food line. I would be lying if I said that wasn't the only time that that's happened.
Yeah.
Where I've met a really good friend in the food line.
Being loud, laughing like you are now, and obnoxious in the best way, and just like being a magnet. Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
God bless us.
So since then, a lot has happened. I've been to many more conferences and meetings and training. I've probably invested well over 6 figures in myself in training since then.
I love that. Let's talk about that. Like that specifically. So yeah, when we first met, you were just starting out in your real estate journey, but you had just come back from what did you just finish that you were coming back from in the real estate industry?
Well, so I did 12 years in the Navy. So I did 10 years active duty in the Navy. And then on my ninth year, right, the year before, 6 months before I got out, a year before I got out, I got my real estate license, and I knew I wanted to transition into real estate and mostly in the investment side. But I figured I'd get my license, learn the business from the inside, do a couple.
Like everybody.
Yeah. And then
falls into the trap of the realtor when they really want to be investors.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I wanted to do. And that's still kind of all I want to do. But that's another story. So I kind of got burnt out on sales. But anyway, I was selling homes to some the people I was working with as an instructor in the schoolhouse, in the Navy. I was like, and then I got recruited to KW. And then my whole world changed. It was like, hey, there's this conference and you can learn here and you can go there and you can do this and do that. And it's a little overwhelming, but I'm like, all right, cool. I have to pick and choose and invest some money I have saved up into like my own education. And so, yeah, I sold 2019, I sold like 22 homes by myself. So I had some money saved up. I made almost 6 figures. I replaced my Navy salary. And 2020 is when I started my team because I was just inundated with business and my pipeline was so full. I kind of had no choice but to start a team or at least have leverage at minimum because I just couldn't service all these clients. And yeah, that's when the journey started of building and running the team. 2020 was a blur. A lot of stuff.
It was a blur.
Yeah. I don't remember most of it.
New career.
Yeah.
And growth.
Well, starting the team. So.
Are you done? Can you go? Thank you. You're being mean.
2020, the beginning of 2020, my mom passed away suddenly. So that's kind of the sad part of it. But I was so busy with business and building the team that, business is going well. Mom passed, so going through some personal stuff. And then also my wife at the time was pregnant with my daughter, who's 4 years old now. And so mom passed. My business is exploding. My daughter is born in the middle of COVID. And oh, by the way, COVID is happening. So extreme isolation, all this stuff, marriage not going well, shit falling apart, but also stuff building like my business. So, but yeah, 2020 just like boom. That was it. And then 2021 was our best year as a team. And I also,
And then tell me the hero journey part.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I have a couple of rock bottom story. I call them the rock bottom story. That wasn't necessarily rock bottom. I was having issues with my marriage before, and then she got pregnant, and then it was like, all right, cool. And then my daughter was born, and then business was doing well, and it was just like, kids don't fix marriages, even though people think so sometimes. So
Why is that? Anyway, completely off topic. Keep going.
We separated. My kid was pretty young, 9 months, 10 months, which is a crazy hard thing to just do and decide, like, separating and stuff, and working on getting divorced while co-parenting a very young child. So a lot of mixed feelings and emotions and ups and downs and hard, tough conversations with, my ex-wife, and still trying to run and build a team. And then 2021, we crushed it. I mean, we had no idea what we were doing, literally not organized, not really tracking much. We had a couple people. So 2021, this is 2021. We were so busy that we sold over 102 homes. It's 3 of us. Myself as a listing agent, the buyer's agent, which is Megan, and then we had a third person who was a brand new agent. We made our showing agent. And we were so busy, and then we had a transaction coordinator. We were so busy that we just decided to give our showing agent 15% of all the showings for all the buyers, and we were buyer heavy. She made like 70 grand that year as a showing agent alone.
That's amazing.
Never sold a single home. My buyer agent, who's a good friend of mine, still she helped me build the team. Her goal was to make 50,000 when we first got together. She was like, "Hey, I'm very humble, nice, church going girl, like local. Like I just need to make 50 and pay my bills. I'm pretty sure I could help you make 50,000. Like that's I'm almost positive that's going to happen." Well, by the end of the year, she made 115,000.
That's amazing. I remember I came down to do some training with the team. I don't even remember what we did, and got to meet everybody. And you have always been great at like collaborating and cultivating people.
Yeah, that's big. People are the heartbeat of the business. So yeah, people are everything. So yeah, after we exploded in 2021, I made my first big hire, which was the director of operations. Now she was operations manager then, Haley. She had nothing. She had zero knowledge and experience. She was fresh out of college, like 21 years old. But she had a great attitude. She was excited. She wanted to learn. And I just hired her, and now she's our director of operations, and she runs the business basically. She's my future COO.
I met her.
Yeah, Haley. She loves
you. Still have a lot of the people that I met in person a couple of years ago when we did that training.
Yeah, Haley's my main person. Megan moved on and became a solo agent. She's building a family. She's prioritized family and the church and stuff, which I love and respect. We're still tight with her, but yeah, we've been running the play with Haley as the director of operations, and now we have sales manager Zach. So we took an intern. We have a Navy internship program where people transition from retiring or getting out of the military, called Skill Bridge, and we had an intern named Zach come on. In 6 months, he sold a couple homes, and fast forward, he sells about 20 to 30 homes a year, and we promoted him to sales manager last year. So now he collects an override on all the sales. He mentors and trains.
So let's talk about mentoring and training, because we talked about coaching the other day. How much has coaching been like pivotal to your success and your like hero's journey?
Oh man, I never want to not have a coach. I don't think anybody in business should be just kind of freestyling it with no coach. Like it just doesn't feel right. And actually I went like 6 months without a coach, and I just felt naked. I felt afraid. I was just like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this.
When did you decide? When was your first coach?
My first coach, holy crap. That was, how about this? I was running and gunning as a CEO and the team lead and doing all these things. And Megan was starting to get burnt out as a buyer agent. She pulled me in the office after we had our one-on-one. She had a one-on-one with me and said, "Hey, I'm getting burnt out. If you don't get a coach to help you organize the business side of things and become the best leader you can be, not that you're a bad leader, but you can get better," then she said, I'm not going to be here. eventually.
Interesting.
She straight up told me, if you don't get a coach and if we don't get better at ironing things out so that I'm not getting, then you're going to lose me. And I was like, okay, roger that. So I went to MAPS, and Christina Griffin was, I think, my first MAPS coach. So, yeah, and that was it. I had to eat some humble pie, and I said, okay, roger that. I'll get a coach. And she even went as far as saying, I need you to get a coach within the next couple of weeks. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, Megan, and she was like, no, I'm dead serious. And I thank her for that. She really pushed me as a leader to like step up, and it worked out. So she was happy. I learned a lot from Christina Griffin. She's down in Florida.
Before your first hire as a coach, what was your mindset prior to when you didn't have a coach? Like, did you ever think like, oh, I don't need one, or I don't want to pay for one, or?
I was worried about getting a coach that didn't align with my values, or a coach that was going to just kind of not fit my personality. I'm a high DI. I'm like straight to the point. Show me tactics and strategies. I don't want to hear any fluff. I don't want you to boost. I have plenty of confidence in myself.
Rich, is this why we're actually friends? We're both DIs?
Yeah. I don't need help in the confidence department. I don't need you to tell me I'm great. I know I'm great. Like, I just need you to help me get more focused and organized, and help me discover some tactics and strategies that will help the team move forward. And that's the type of coach I wanted. And so what I was afraid of was just like not getting the right coach and having to go through coaches over and over and over again. And so I wanted to make sure I got it right the first time. And so when I was interviewing coaches, MAP coaches, I made it very clear. I was like, I want someone who has already built something I'm trying to build, and who is in alignment with like what I'm trying to do in terms of like actionable, strategic, strategy.
Speak your language.
Yeah, that just
Yeah.
Hey, do this and track the results and tell me how it goes, and let's try something else. Ready, break, go.
Yeah.
I didn't want somebody to tell me like, all right, so now, which by the way is important. Like, I know that coaches should be teaching soft skills, right? And emotional intelligence, and how to connect with your people and how to become a better leader. 100%. At that particular time, my business was so just disorganized and messy, but there was a lot of potential there. I just wanted somebody to help me iron it out, and then we can get into the leadership and the soft skills and all that stuff, which I eventually got to. So,
I've like talked about this, but my first time thinking about getting a coach, I was like, oh my God, I don't have, at the time in our industry, it was like $1,200 a month, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. And I was like, oh my God, that's like so much money. $1,200 a month. Like in the very beginning,
oh yeah,
it's like a lot. It's a big commitment. And so I had to get like over that mental hump of thinking it was an expense. And actually Gary Keller helped with that. The founder of Keller Williams, changing your perspective of it's an investment and it absolutely should be built into your P&L, and it's not an expense.
Interesting.
And I was like, okay, let's try that perspective for a minute. And I got one, and I was like, I'll just figure it out. Like, right? Like I could make $1,200 a month. Like bare minimum. It's just a monthly, like it's not that big of a deal. Like, let me just get through the first 30 days and see what happens. And I originally got a coach that didn't align with my language, I'll say, and my values of how I wanted to grow the business. And it was like hard and clunky. And the coaching calls were like, there was a disconnect. And then I fired them and I hired a coach that I met at a conference. I immediately, like, we had a conversation and I was like, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, I know what I'm looking for now, and this is the guy. And he helped the very first week I hired him. He coached me for a listing appointment that was for $450,000. It was like one of my first listing appointments that I've ever been on. And I got it. And I was like, he's paid for himself for the whole year.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Because like the commission, right, in real estate, we just do commission math all day long. And the commission was like $12,000 or whatever. that math was.
There you go.
And he literally paid for himself the whole year. I was like, if I don't get any more value from this guy, like
We're
the
good.
ROI is 100%.
Yeah. And it's impossible to not get value when you have, more time with somebody who's done it. Like, you're going to get something from it, from the conversation, right? Even if it's something small. And the bottom line is, when you're getting coaching, and even I would assume as a coach yourself, when you're giving, advice and training and coaching, the idea is not to like memorize every single point and strategy that was discussed. It's like, hey, look, find something that you align with, find something that you can put into action, and like you say, track and get a result, maybe one or two things, and just get good at it, right? And keep doing it, and then,
Oh, yeah.
like
Simplify.
Yeah, that's it. The same thing with books. When we had book club, which we, as a team, I want to get us back to book club. It's like, all right, guys, there's 9,000 ways to skin a cat, and there's 20 action items that you can take from reading this book, and strategies and stuff. From each chapter, I just want you to take one or two strategies or things that you can apply to your business right now. And then don't do it for 30 days. Don't do it for, 2 months. Do it for at least 3 to 6 months, and track it, watch it. And then afterwards, make a decision on whether you want to keep moving forward with those strategies or you want to try something else,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like one of the most important things as an entrepreneur to have a coach is we're like such visionaries and so creative, and our mind is like literally all over the place in like the best way possible. That's like makes up our identity. And like a coach is just like asking questions to bring you back on track, like asking and getting clarity on what your actual goal is, and like staying focused and staying in the lane until you have success to like then branch off and do your next thing.
Yeah. And another thing I didn't want a coach that was gonna, this might sound egotistical, but I didn't want a coach that was gonna tell me you're doing everything all wrong, you need to do it differently. I know I'm doing some things wrong, right? I get that. But I'm sure there's coaches out there that might be like, hey, look, this is all jacked up. Try this, this, and this. And I'm willing to try. I'm coachable. But it's like, I know I'm doing something right because I'm getting results. So how about we focus on what we're doing right, what we can add to that, and then what has made my business grow versus redoing everything and unwinding it and trying different things. Like, let's just look at what we're doing well, double on it, and then without changing your identity as a leader or as an agent or business person, add on to it. And that's what my current coach, Matt Marsupian from Glover U, shout out to Matt, Glover U, Jeff Glover, that whole crew. He didn't try to like make me reinvent myself. He didn't try to push me into a corner of you should be doing this as a team leader, Rich. He led with curiosity. A good coach leads with curiosity, leads with questions, try to understand who his client is, and what they do, what role they play in the organization, and then just make it more polished and make it better. He didn't try to change who I am and what I do for an organization. He just said, hey, let's make this more clear and let's double down on what you're really good at and you can maintain that role. Because the first thing I told him was like, I was like, dude, I've been out of production for a while. I know you probably don't talk to a lot of agents that are out of production unless they hit a certain level. I found a way to get out of production really early in my career. And I want to keep it like that because my priority is my time with my daughter, and I'm willing to sacrifice more money and have more leverage with, so I can spend time with my daughter because I'm a single dad. I have 50-50 custody of my daughter. So that's my priority. And instead of trying to be like, well, you need to go back into production and sell more homes. And he was like, cool, I respect it. I'm a father also. I get it. That's your priority. I respect it. Let's build around the leverage that you have in your business and just make it better.
Yeah, exactly. When my first coach that I didn't really love, I didn't like speak that language. They were attempting to get me to do things out of my like natural element and not in like a good way, get out of your comfort zone and like go door knock or like cold call. And it's like, do I look like my best use of my time is cold calling? It's like building relationships. And then my second coach that I did speak the same language as, he was like, what are you really good at? Like, how have you connected with people? Where have you gotten your sales from up until this very point? And it was like referrals. Like everything's been relationship based. And it was like, okay, cool. How do you double down on that? Like you're saying, and how do you systematize it and scale it?
Yeah.
And we built that out and it was like literally game over. My business tripled.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited about 2025 because I've really embraced this leadership management style called decentralized command. You ever heard of it?
Hmm.
Like Jocko Willink, he talks about it a lot. You know, extreme ownership. And basically, I'm like truly blessed to have the people I have in my corner, my executive staff, my business partners, like my new business partner Kristen. Like what they are doing is allowing me to lead them as a staff, to lead the team to where everyone has a role. You own your role.
Hmm.
You own the results of your role, good or bad, and you also have the freedom and to be creative in your role and push whatever limits you need to push to get the best out of what you're doing. And so it takes me away from having to make decisions or feeling like I have to make decisions or dig into everybody's business, which I was doing early in my career when I was leading people. I was just kind of like, hey, do this, and I'm just like I have my hands in everybody's stuff, and it's like no, empower people, right? Give them duties, responsibilities, compensation. They know their mission. Empower them to do their job at the highest level, and all you have to do is have them report to you the activities and the results, and then you
Hmm.
plan together and adjust accordingly. But that's theirs; they own it, right? I play my role as a leader, right? I'm training, I'm recruiting, I'm leading the team, I'm making executive decisions, I'm building relationships with ancillary businesses to bring more opportunity to the team. That's my lane. My lane is not
Yeah.
ops, like my lane is not
Right.
sales anymore. I have a sales manager, I have a director of growth, I have a director of operations. So it's like, oh shit, the definition of what we do has become very clear, and that's been huge for our organization.
I love that you said that actually. Having everybody on the team, a coaching client called me the other day in like a breakdown that he's upset with one of his salespeople. And it's like just asking the most simple questions. To us, it's like so simple because this is like what we practice and preach all day, right? But does everybody on your team know what their 20% is? Does everybody on their team know what their one thing is for the day?
Right.
And if the answer is no, or you're not sure, then they're definitely not sure. Like if you don't know if they know, then they don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And
and it
like
does.
just implementing the smallest practice of like a daily a morning huddle, right? Like literally going over what your 20% is that's going to yield you 80% result. Most of the time it doesn't change, right? So you just listed off what your 20% is that's going to yield 80% result for the company. Everybody should just list it just so it's a reminder what their one thing is for the day and what you're grateful for is like my favorite. And it like you just make sure everybody's on track and on the same page and you're all moving in the same direction.
Yeah, and as a leader, putting people in the right seats on the bus, that really complements their skills and their genius zone, as my buddy Chris Craddock would say from up in Maryland. I don't know if you know Chris; he's awesome. He
Yep.
says, stay in your genius zone, lock in. So everyone has their genius zone. So me knowing my people, thank God I have a deep relationship with my people, and I've gotten to know them. I'm like, all right, he's good at this, and I've had to move people around. Right, I had this guy Eric, who's our lead manager. I had him doing some ops stuff. I had him dabbling in some other stuff. I even had him doing sales. He's just not a sales guy. I'm trying to fit a square into a round hole.
Round peg hole or whatever they say.
And it's like, what are you doing, Rich? Put him where he can thrive. And he's a nerd and he loves tech and he loves leads and advertising and all that. So I'm like, here, dude, here's your role. Here's your duties and responsibilities. You will own your results, good or bad, report them up. And let's figure out how to make that better. And he's thriving in that role, because he's in this genius zone and he has the autonomy and the ability to own that role and do well in it.
I love that. And then once you can get like your most core basic functions down as a company, you can start to go out and build a secondary company, like what you're truly passionate in, coaching or real estate investing, like you mentioned before. And you just take those same principles, extract them, and drop them into the next company, and you're on your way.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And so recently I've connected with a local top producer who was a friend, and we're merging our businesses, which I didn't think I would ever do really. And so I feel super comfortable because we each have our strengths and we're really playing to our strengths, and we know our role. We're not stepping in each other's lanes, and we're communicating constantly, and we trust each other. And we're making decisions together. We're having tough conversations. So things are going really well right now. We're working on, we just opened an office with Real Broker. So I moved from Keller Williams to Real Broker, and We rented an office, and now we just put in the licensing for it to be like a satellite office. And now we actually took the office, and there's a lot of rent. It was a big office, almost 2,000 square feet. That's big for me. But it was designed in such a way to where we can actually, and then the owner of the office said we can sublease spaces
Oh,
to
cool.
mega agents and solo agents. So that's what we're doing. So it's twofold benefit. It's like, okay, our bill for the office, our rent every month is going to be lowered because we're subleasing, but also we're bringing amazing people into our vicinity, our world, for us to collaborate, work together, and build and grow. So it's like a win-win. So that's what we're working on right now. And then, of course, I'm working on attaching the ancillary businesses so that we have income coming from different places, and we can show our agents how to diversify their income and allow them to make more money through different avenues other than just sales.
The ancillary businesses is so fun for any business, like affiliate marketing or affiliate partnerships, referral partnerships, ancillary businesses. Yeah. Just using your primary business as a hub and then all of these like external add-on additional revenue sources really is huge.
Absolutely.
Such an easy way to grow and increase your revenue.
Yeah. And also, with all the changes going on, I do feel like commission compression is going to happen. It's already kind of happening on a smaller scale. And, there's going to be people that just wait for the commission to go low, low, low. And they're just going to take what they get, right? All they know is selling homes. And then there's people that are going to take action and be forward leaning and say, instead of waiting, let's create more opportunities around our business to get paid and to create win-win situations with our partners, to where, if we don't sell that many homes in a month, or if commissions get compressed down to 2% or whatever, like it's like what's happening on the West Coast, we still have income coming in from title, from insurance, from mortgage, from other partnerships.
Exactly.
We can still kind of win.
So we usually do podcasts for 1 hour, but today we did it for 30 minutes. So maybe we'll have you back on.
I would love to be back on. In fact, I've already talked with my team about, just like I said, flying out there and being in person with you.
That would be so much better.
That would be awesome. Yeah. And why not? Why would I skip an opportunity to go to the beautiful state of Florida? So.
Yeah, let's do it. We could, if you want to bring your whole team down, we could do like an in-person training one day.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm sure we could figure it out.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for hanging out, and let's reschedule let's schedule an in-person, and we'll like link all your things so everyone can find you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate the
Thank you so much. Bye.